Okay, I've walked through your other videos, David. I know what tools I need. I've learned how to use the cutter. I've learned how to deburr and clean them properly like a professional. You still haven't actually showed me how to sweat these together. Well, it's your lucky day. We're gonna cover that in this video here. We finally get to play with the fire tool. It's my favorite part. And one thing I am lumping in with this video, just because it wasn't really cleaning and deburring, but this will be very quick, or almost to the fun part. Don't worry. I grab a little flux paste. Still using this water-soluble stuff because that's what I have on hand here. The process of applying it, brushing it on, it's pretty much identical, but I will probably give you a link to the OD brand stuff again. And this just really helps the solder flow down nicely. We try not to get too much on the inside there. We don't want big globs. It was just a nice smooth layer there, kind of getting a little bit on the inside. You know, just smooth it out a little bit there, on your ridges. And laying this up here, I like putting a little on the inside of the female fitting there, work that around, not too many globs. We can kind of set that off to the side, and then we'll just slide them together. I think the other stuff maybe gives you a little more, helps it slide a little smoother, but it really doesn't matter too much. Just ½ inch is pretty easy to work with. And so we got that on there. And the reason, as I said in the last video, the reason that we're doing it on this longer piece is because a lot of times, whenever you can, it's really nice to solder before you cut the piece down, because you got nice cool pipe over here you can hold on to. You're not trying to fumble around with a short piece while you're sweating it. You know exactly what the length is. You know, you can measure off the inside of this nice easy piece here over to the next one. I should make sure we're on camera, but you know, once this is one solid piece, it's easy to butt the tape measure inside there. It doesn't work in every case, but it's a good thing to be thinking about probably with a lot of things, but especially with copper for plumbing, is just, you know, if you can pre-assemble some of the stuff, especially when you're doing existing stuff and you're going to be working back in the wall, if you can get some of it together. Of course, it does require a little bit of planning. You don't want to sweat something together and then figure out that it won't go in there, but you'll have to play with that a little bit, learn the balance with time and practice and experience. So we are going to take this Bernzomatic torch, and I'm going to get my solder ready. So I'm going to spool out a little bit, just so we got something to work with. Keep my hands a little bit further away from the bend there, or from the area I'm sweating. And then here's another little trick that can be handy, is if we bend a little bit here, generally a ½ inch diameter pipe is going to use about a ½ inch of solder in the joint. So about like there, just the inside of the bend. And that's, you know, the real test is, you know, really it doesn't matter if you use the exact right amount on here. The real test is when you turn the water on, if it holds or not. Generally, you know, if anything, err on the side of putting a little more solder on there. But it's kind of a good, easy reference point there. If you put it on there and it immediately pulls that whole ½ inch in, you know, the joint is nice and full. It's probably solid. If you touch it in there and it just takes a little bit off the tip and it's nowhere near back to that bend, it's a good clue that something's up. Maybe you should check that and redo that joint before turning the water on and finding out the hard way. And we're going to take this torch, I'm going to flip it to unlock, press button there, and we're going to start warming this up. We want to warm the joint, not the pipe, so we'll be right on there. I hope you guys can see what we're doing pretty well on the camera there. We'll be warming up right there. We can count off, I don't know what's going to, you know, 15, 20 seconds. One clue I found, for some reason no one else seems to consider this a clue, but a lot of times I see the flame go green. The copper hits just the right temperature. The real trick though is you'll see that this stuff will turn liquid and instantly kind of suck down into the joint. And I'm wondering here if maybe I should try putting this camera a little bit closer here so that we can really see exactly what I'm doing in more detail. Yeah, I think you should be able to see that ridge and really see this copper just get sucked right down in there. And you'll note I have kind of in the middle of the flame, not the tip, not quite all the way down to the base. Try to find that hottest part of the flame there. And then I kind of lost count. But yeah, you see that? It just instantly turns to liquid, and it doesn't even pool on the surface if you're looking closely. It goes all the way down in. Except, I think I let it cool too fast while I'm talking, because you can see there's still a bit of that bend. We're close, but there's a bit there, so that's where that clue is really handy. And it's nice if we have a nice clean joint, but err on the side of cramming that stuff down in there. I feel like I have a little hole on the bottom. I'm kind of getting off doing this on camera. You really want to try to get this right on the first shot, otherwise you're kind of reflowing the stuff and everything else. Start making a little bit more of a mess. That's not ideal, but I think this will work, especially for demonstration. Yeah, so now we're getting a bunch of solder all up in there. We're really sealing that good. Got a few gloves. A little mess isn't the end of the world. I mean, sure, you can, you know, some people might get all funny about it and, oh, your joint's got to be all smooth or it doesn't look professional, and sure it does. And like, if I'm hiring a plumber for a big remodel job or something, they're running a bit of that, I'm probably going to expect it a little cleaner. It maybe raises a little bit of red flags for me, but, you know, for what we're doing, some home repairs, that's fine. It's sealed, that's it. I don't really shouldn't be going off on tangents, making you guys nervous. As long as it's sealed, we're good. If it's, at the end of the day, if it's holding, it's good. All right, hopefully that was helpful. We will be back soon. The next things we're gonna be doing, we're actually gonna start working on some videos, actually running some pipe. We're gonna do some shower valve installations. Maybe at some point we'll do some other stuff you can actually see using these core skill sets kind of in more little bigger picture, part of the bigger picture, a little more real application. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe. I'm David, your home repair coach. We will see you soon.